Today's lesson has to do with persuasive writing and sort of the art of having to convince someone of your opinion on something. Persuasive writing has to start with a stance. For example, your stance can be, "You should stop smoking." A stance is really important. A lot of kids want to be in the middle of an issue and say, well, sometimes I feel this way and sometimes I feel another way. Well, that's not possible when you are writing a persuasive piece because you really have to decide on which side of the issue you stand. After you've determined your stance, then you should probably come up with 3 or 4 really good reasons why you feel that way. These reasons are sort of big ideas. For example, you might say that you shouldn't smoke because it affects your health, or you shouldn't smoke because of all of the money you spend on cigarettes, or you might say that another reason you might smoke is because other people around you might be affected. So those would be 3 good reasons or 3 big ideas for why you feel that you can't smoke. So reasons are really important when you are beginning to develop your stance and beginning to develop your persuasive writing. The last part of brainstorming your ideas for persuasive writing are to find facts and examples for each one of the reasons. Facts and examples are important. They can't be an opinion because you have to be able to back up the information you have. So each one of your reasons should have at least 3 or 4 facts or examples that you can find from a good source. Here's an example of a great persuasion map I found for free on the Houghton Mifflin website. It has all of the pieces that I was just talking about on the last slide, because right over here, when we're talking about your goal, that's really your stance. That's your big idea. You're either in favor of something or you're opposed to something. It's your opinion. Your stance goes right here in this box. Then we have the 3 reasons outlined right here, the big ideas. Why do you feel the way you do about your stance? What's your first reason, your second reason, and your third reason? And then the last part of this graphic organizer is really your facts and examples, and this is explicit information. It's information you can find straight from really good sources, from really good text examples. We're going to sort of take some time to dissect an example of persuasive writing that's been done by a student in order to help you see how an essay, a piece of writing fits into a persuasion map like this, and then you should be able to take it back apart again and fill out your graphic organizer and write your piece. This is the introductory paragraph of the essay. I'll read it to you, and then we'll talk about the stance in here and the different parts of the introduction paragraph. It says, "I am sure that you know that smoking harms your body. Then why do you continue smoking? Maybe you do it because you haven't really become conscious about all the effects that smoking has. There are a lot of reasons why you shouldn't smoke. Some of them are that smoking affects your health, that you spend a lot of money on cigarettes, and that when you smoke, you are not respecting people around you." This is a student's piece, and it's a decent introduction, but my only problem with it is that it doesn't specifically state the stance. It should say, "You should stop smoking," or "You should continue smoking." Obviously, this person's stance is that you should stop smoking, and we could infer that, but it makes a stronger persuasive piece for your beginning writing if you say your stance right here in this introductory paragraph. Here's what I do like about this paragraph is that the author made sure that they stated their 3 reasons for quitting smoking, for being against smoking. So in blue, you see that I have underlined that they say that smoking affects your health. In orange, I've underlined you spend a lot of money on cigarettes. And in green, I've underlined when you smoke, you're not respecting people around you. So those are the 3 big reasons. If we had the graphic organizer in front of us, it would fit right into the reasons section of that graphic organizer. Here's the second paragraph of the piece. The first reason why you shouldn't smoke is that smoking affects your health. If you smoke, your physical condition will be negatively affected, so it will be very difficult for you to succeed in sports. Also, smoking produces lethal diseases like cancer and reduces the length and quality of your life. Maybe you don't notice all the physical effects of smoking immediately, but you surely will be sorry one day. So again here, the student has stated the first reason why you shouldn't smoke is that smoking affects your health. That's your big reason. And then we can dig a little bit deeper into the text and find some examples of their facts. It says that your physical condition will be negatively affected, making it difficult to succeed in sports. So there's a fact. Smoking produces lethal diseases like cancer. There's a fact. It reduces the quality of your life. There's a fact. And that you don't notice all the physical effects of smoking immediately. There's a fact. So they've actually included 4 facts in this first paragraph. Okay, let's take a look at this next paragraph. The second reason why you shouldn't smoke is because all of the money that you spend on it. Maybe you start smoking only when someone offers you a cigarette, but there will be a day when you will feel the need of a cigarette. By this time, you will pay whatever to smoke, and each time you will smoke more, you will spend more money. All the money you would spend on cigars could have been spent on something better, don't you think? So this one states the second reason right here in the beginning of this paragraph. Then we have, that's the reason, then we have a fact here about when you start smoking, someone offers you a cigarette, one day you'll feel the need. That's almost a second fact. I'm just going to count it as one though, because that's talking about the addictive nature of cigarettes. By this time, you'll pay whatever to smoke, and each time you will smoke more, so you'll spend more money. There's another fact right there. Okay? All the money you would spend on cigarettes could have been spent on something better, don't you think? I'm sort of wishy-washy about whether this is a fact. It's true that you could spend the money on something else, but I wonder if this is more of an opinion here about spending it on something better. That's up to you whether you think that's the case or not. I don't think it's the strongest statement, though. Here's the next paragraph. The last reason why you shouldn't smoke is out of respect for the people around you. When you smoke, you not only harm yourself, but you also harm all the people around you, so you mustn't be selfish. You should at least avoid smoking in front of people who don't smoke. Also, many people who don't like the cigarette smell, so they won't enjoy your company. Would you like that? This one, again, I think could be a little bit stronger, and you can probably find some of the places where it could. But I like the format at the very least because we have the reason right there, the last reason why you shouldn't smoke, as out of respect for the people around you. I think the facts in this paragraph could be a little bit stronger. You know, we're talking about secondhand smoke. When you smoke, you not only harm yourself, but you harm the people around you. That's a fact. Okay, so you mustn't be selfish. That's a little bit more of an opinion. You should at least avoid smoking in front of people who don't smoke. I think the person who wrote this could have gotten into some more of the health examples of what secondhand smoke does to people, and that would make it a little bit stronger. But many people don't like the cigarette smell, I think, is another fact, and you could probably find some examples and some places where you can back up that fact using some sort of text. So here's the conclusion paragraph. I have said some reasons of why you shouldn't smoke, so I hope that now those of you who smoke are able to think a little and try to make a smart decision. In addition to all the reasons I've said, I would like you to think about how much you love yourself and then whether you want to continue harming yourself. Think also about the people who love you, like your family, who doesn't want to see you suffering or sick. If you decide to continue smoking, what a pity. But if you decide to stop smoking, congratulations. Remember that if you can dream it, you can do it. So the ending paragraph sort of wraps things up. I wish that they would revisit more of the facts, of the reasons, in this paragraph revisit some of those reasons instead of introducing so many new reasons. It's okay to introduce a few new reasons just to make the wrap-up of the piece a little bit stronger. But then they ended with a quote, which is sort of an interesting way to end it. And a lot of persuasive pieces are ended with quotes, and so you might be able to find something in some of the text you read that you might want to quote for your conclusion, for part of your conclusion. We're going to take a minute or so to revisit this persuasion map. I think that this is really important, and that's why I'm coming back to it, because it's really nearly impossible to write a good persuasive piece if you don't take the time to find your facts and examples, if you don't take the time to think through your reasoning, and if you don't take the time to come up with your stance. So, I think if you're looking at this, also, it's important to note that you are going to have several paragraphs. You're going to have your beginning paragraph that has your stance, and it includes your reasons. Then you're going to have a paragraph for each one of the reasons. A paragraph for reason 1, a paragraph for reason 2, a paragraph for reason 3. Then at the end, you're going to have your closing paragraph when you actually do the writing. Take the time to complete your graphic organizer. Keep track of your sources on the back of your paper, and you will end up with the beginnings of a really nice persuasive piece.